Hello, everyone. Welcome to this session. So let's get started. Okay, can you see my screen, right?
Yes.
Okay, so my name is Ahmed Zouhair. I've been a professional for the last 20 years. I just finished publishing my book. It's called Demystifying Project Management. So it's just going to be aligned with this talk. So I've got some great information for you. So I work with startup. Actually, I'm a business coach with SCORE, and I work with a lot of small businesses and startup and entrepreneurs in Austin. So I help them with questions regarding their plans, their marketing, their customer avatars, and so forth. But before I start, I want to really give a great shout out to our sponsors, and they've been doing it for many years. So I know ProductCamp, I know the 280 group, and the UT. I know Trent. He moved to Georgia, so Trent. I really appreciate their support for ProductCamp, which is a great institution for teaching, learning, and networking. Resources before you start, if you have to go, I understand. I can't go to other sessions, so I'm stuck here for the next 30 minutes. But if you want to go around, I've got some resources for you. So take a pictures of this one. I also gave some resources in the Dropbox to Ian, so he can share it with you. I really have some information about ProductCamp and product management from Dan or from Mike Trujillo and some other board members. So feel free to use that information. Just reach out to Ian. I think this is one of my favorite quotes. If the best way to predict the future is to invent it. And before I start, I want to just ask in the chat or in Slack, put how many of you are product managers or entrepreneurs or startup or thinking about becoming entrepreneurs and startup. And Ian, you can just tell me how many we have. We got 2%, 5%, whatever. So what I was going to say, really, product managers are really the CEO of the product. In other words, they have to have a happy medium between the customer, the business, and the technology. And I always want to make sure that you start with the customers and work backward toward your technology so you can come up with a good product, a good fit that would be valuable to your customers, that would benefit your customers and not the other way around. Again, a lot of product managers or CEOs, they tend to complicate instead of simplifying, just like this quote by Leonardo da Vinci. But it's sometimes when we think it's simpler, it's really not that simple, well, if you think about it, because at the end of the day, simplicity is the product manager currency. Why? Well, because it's not easy, you have to be bold and you have to work really hard in the background. It's so transparent. Do you make a product and sort of look so easy, but there is a lot of work behind the scene that take place. And that's what I want to make sure that you think about that. And this talk is going to be about 4 questions. Basically, what is your why and which is your purpose? The second question is, what is your how? How are you going to do it? What's your strategy using a framework like the 3P, prepare, plan, perform? And the next question, what is your what? What are your outcomes, your results? And of course, who's going to be doing the work is the team, who. So remember, you can take a picture of this one. I'll be sharing the recording as well. So the why, the how, and the what, and the who. So there is a report by the Standish report, which is a really highly cited report. They came up with this statistic based on 5 years of data from over thousands of IT companies. And the result is that most of the project fails or canceled. Either they finish and nobody's using them, nobody's using the product and service, or they finish over budget and behind schedule and so many other factors. Customers, they weren't happy with the product. So the findings are just like this. So either they were in the wrong place, the wrong time, and the wrong leadership, the wrong sponsorship. And on top of that, there is some process where is not being agile, not being flexible in making decisions, quick decision and the speed of your cycles. So in part one, we're going to talk about the purpose. So what is your purpose? The purpose, I'm going to start with a construction story. So there was 3 construction workers working in the field, and they were asked, "What are you guys doing?" So the first one said, "Well, I'm breaking stones so I can feed my family." And the second one said, "Oh, I'm building the wall so I can get paid." And the third one said, "Oh, I'm building the house of God." So think about these 3 working people. Statistically, everything is being the same. It's the same place, the same pay, the same job, the same brick. The only difference is the first one has a job, the second one has a career, and the third one has a calling, has a purpose bigger than himself or herself. So what I want you to think about a purpose. Think about the ikigai, la raison d'être, or the reason of being, by creating a medium, happy medium between your vision, mission, goals, and guiding principles. You want to be in middle, and in other words, your vision is your ideas of your product or service, if you're an entrepreneur or startup. And how will you implement your vision is basically your strategy using a framework, and the what, the how, and so forth. So I want you to also think about this book by Ikigai, is a Japanese. You don't forget about yourself. So you want to make sure you always have that happy medium. You got to have, you want to do what you love. You also want to make some money, and take care of yourself. So this is really a great resources. I highly recommend it, and it's really good stuff. Another thing you got to remember is the why. It helps you communicate easily with your employee team, either internally or externally, and it unify your vision and create more clarity. A lot of startup and entrepreneurs and even product manager, they wear so many hats. And somebody tells me why they wear so many hats. Put in the chat or Slack. But the point I'm trying to make here is really, you don't want to be involved in too many things. Like you want to be involved in human resources, in sales, marketing, branding, social media. And so make sure you have some clarity about what you want to do and more focus. Another thing you want to make sure is having too many certifications does not make you a better product manager or a better founder or CEOs. Be very selective about what kind of certification is going to help you. Like in this case, maybe if you plan to become a product manager, maybe a certification product manager about maybe pricing, packaging, marketing, and design and so forth can be relevant, right? Another thing you want to think about is not having too many plans. Maybe maybe one plan with a backup plan if there are any changes. But sometimes those plans don't work, right? I'm just saying, right? But you have to learn to make quick decision and fail, because you're gonna fail during the course of being a startup and entrepreneurs. And if you hit a fork on the road, what do? You take it, right? Because at the end of the day, you're gonna run in, you're gonna have to make decisions. You're gonna have options. So what? Deal with them, and you'll figure it out during the course of your product and services. So in other words, when I talk to a lot of my friends that are small business owners or startup, they focus more on the product and service. Well, our product and service are great. The customers love it. The surveys we take are so great. Well, surveys are really not great indicators of your product and service. You have to take a conversation beyond your product and service, beyond purposes, so you can have a more opportunity for a more selling of your product and services. So I'm going to pause here for a question from anybody. There is no question. Let's go to part two. So part two basically is your strategy. Like I said, your strategy is really how you're going to do it. And it takes people, processes, and tools. So you got to have that happy medium between these three, and focus more on the people, because really, I've seen some really great talk earlier by Elena and by David and so forth. So the team is critical. And if you're really, you want to be always in the middle, where if you're a business owner, you want to be good at developing team, bringing the best team, and make sure you work on their personal, professional development to make sure they're going to be great leaders for your product and services. And at the same time, know how to manage these products and services. Using the framework that would fit your organization. Remember, don't let processes hinder your progress. Your framework can be anything. It's so transparent, it's running in the background, but prepare, plan, and perform. And some of the resources that I'm going to share with you, for example, this Eisenhower matrix, which is really focused, take a picture of it, there's a lot of good articles about this Eisenhower. Focus on what's relevant, what's important, what's urgent, what is your cash cow of your product and services. I remember when I was doing a consulting gig with Cisco, I remember that the question came up and they said, don't forget our cash cow product and services. We make routers and switches. Let's make sure we focus on those and maintain those, and maintain the support and warranty of those products and services, and the rest will follow, right? The security, the data center, the collaboration tools, and so forth. Not about WebEx, but Zoom is now better because the guy used to work with Cisco. But again, you take that, do it now, and you put it in your schedule. Your schedule could be as simple as to do, doing, done. And you take that, don't get lost in terminology. It's really your backlog, could be product log. You change it to sprint log, which is your schedule. It can be between 2 to 4 weeks to whatever. And once it's done, you date and stamp your task. This is really critical when it comes to time, speed. Speed is your schedule for your cycle. For example, you want a quick feedback from your customers or from your team. So that schedule can be between 2 to 4 weeks. Another thing that's really important for your timing is decision making. How long does your organization make a decision can be critical. Is it in terms of hours or days or months, especially if it's global? So decision making is critical. And I've seen companies that are global will take them months to make a decision, and it's not going to be productive for your organization. Communication is a key also. I think we tend to forget about communication, but you should have already a structured communication in place, besides your daily huddle or, your reporting structure and so forth should already be established. So when you bring new team members, they already know what needs to be done. Any questions on this one? There are no questions. We go to part 3. So part 3 is really about what are the results, what are the outcome of your product and services. And really here is really, are we making progress? Where we are now, where we want to be. What are some of the lessons learned, from this this product and services? The usual retrospective, like, are we making good progress? And if we're not, how can we fix it? Really simple as that. So there is a metric so where you can monitor your changes and make sure that you're making that progress. And the last part is really about the team. The team is critical to your success, and the reason being there is this Tuckman's phases, which is, I'm sure you've seen this before. So forming, storming, norming, and performing and turning. But what I want to emphasize on the teams today is there is a study by Google that high-performing team in Google, and they came up with this study that shows that start with physiological safety. What that means is team members, especially newbies, they are vulnerable. So they felt comfortable sharing the information, regardless. There is no wrong information. They're here to learn. They're here to make mistakes. So once they feel comfortable in that environment, they become more dependable. Look at FANG, like Facebook, Amazon, Google, Apple, and Netflix. So, and they become more, accountable. They have an understanding of the purpose, the goals, the vision, mission, goals, and guiding principle of that product and services and that organization that they work for, and the rest will follow, right? Another book that I highly recommend, that The 5 Dysfunctions of the Team, and it reads bottom up. You got to start with trust. If there is no trust, you can't go nowhere. With trust, I think it's okay to have conflict, right? Conflict is good. In fact, if you have 2 great ideas and you start discussing them among your architect, your software development team, your leadership, and you have to make a decision about which decision is good for the product and services. And these are really healthy discussions in the organization, and it will make the team more committed, more accountable, and the result will follow. This is very important, and I've seen it happen all the time. Another thing that you got to remember about trust is that there should be some consistency, some compassion, good character, contribution, and so forth. So I don't need to tell you, you can easily describe all of these pillars yourself. If you have clarity, you have an understanding of what needs to be done. And last, I want to thanks again the ProductCamp, the University of Texas Business School, and the 280 Group, and the team. I want to give a thank you to the board members who have been volunteering to get this ProductCamp 27 ready for all of us, the learning, teaching, and networking. And there's no great honor to supporting someone's growth and evolution. So, and with that, I close my talk. Oh, I forgot to say something. And don't forget to take care of yourself. I just joined a soccer team. They've been playing since 1972. And, I remember when I was working 40, 60 hours a week, and I was sitting all day. I could not even walk. So remember, take care of yourself. Go walk, go run. The trail is free. Everything is good. And take some comedy, support our improv and comedy stand-up open mic. And so I was able to do an open mic last year, face-to-face, and I'm a certified yoga instructors in Bitcoin. I love coffee. Go to a lot of coffee shops in Austin. So make sure you volunteer and get involved in the community that we have in Austin, which is great. And with that, I close for any questions, Ian. And don't forget the resources that I gave to Ian.
Okay, thank you. If anyone has any questions, you feel free to unmute yourself or put it in the chat and I'll share.
There are no questions. I'm going to go to the other sessions. No, I'm just kidding.
Mm-hmm.